Most must-read classic lists are interior design shelves, pretty spines, zero map. This one is different. 10 books. Each earns its place for one reason. It still explains something uncomfortable about being human. Power, fear, belonging, control, ambition, and the stories we tell so we can sleep at night. No book talk hype, no fake mystique. No, you're uncultured if you skip this guilt. If you're building a real shelf for class, for curiosity, or because you're tired of starting books you abandon by chapter 3, this is your map. Stay to the end. Number 8 is the trapdoor. And after the 10, I'll show you the fastest way to actually finish them. Rules plus how to use this list. 3 rules. Then how to use the list so it doesn't become another guilt screenshot. 1. Every book had to survive outside its century. If it only worked in 1850, it's out. 2. Each leaves a clean aftertaste, a question you can't shrug off on the train home. 3. I tell you who it's for. A masterpiece you hate is still the wrong book for you right now. How to use this. Pick one title that matches your life this month, not all 10. Read 20 pages. If the thesis I'm about to give you starts lighting up in the margins, continue. If not, skip without shame and take the next fit. Short, under-a-minute summaries of several of these already live on this channel. I'll point you there when they exist. Plot spine first, then you do the hard chapters yourself. Let's start with the book that still terrifies classrooms on purpose. Number 1. Lord of the Flies by William Golding. A plane crashes. A group of boys inherits a deserted island. For a moment it feels like freedom. Beach, fruit, no adults. They elect Ralph. They find a conch. Rules appear like a comfort blanket. Then the hunt begins. Faces turn to paint. The choir becomes a tribe. The beast stops living in the jungle and starts living in the circle of boys who need someone to kill so they can feel brave together. Piggy's glasses, Simon's truth. The fire that was supposed to mean rescue. This is not an adventure story that went wrong. It's a lab experiment on civilization. Remove the audience of adults and watch how fast order becomes permission for cruelty. Who it's for. Anyone who still believes people are automatically good if you just leave them alone. Students writing on society, power, mobs, or innocence. The mirror. Civilization is a costume. Under it, belonging can cost more than loneliness, because the tribe always has a vacancy for a monster. If you need the full plot spine tonight before an essay, the short summary is on the channel. Number 2. 1984 by George Orwell. Winston Smith works at the Ministry of Truth, which means he lies for a living. The past is edited before breakfast. Big Brother watches. The 2 minutes hate gives the public a scheduled place to pour their fear. Winston tries to keep one private thought, a diary, a love, a memory that isn't approved. Room 101 isn't only horror furniture. It's the design endpoint of a system that doesn't just punish dissent. It rewires what you're allowed to mean by truth. Newspeak shrinks language so rebellion can't finish a sentence. Orwell's nightmare isn't only torture, it's quieter. Make reality flexible enough that resistance feels insane, even to you. Who it's for? Readers watching headlines about surveillance, propaganda, rewritten narratives, and language games. Students who need dystopia that still cuts in present tense, not costume drama. The mirror. Control the past, own the future. And if you control the words, you don't always need the boot. Number 3. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Different cage. Here, Nobody needs jackboots as the main tool. Happiness is manufactured. Casts are grown in bottles. Children are conditioned in their sleep. A drug called soma smooths every sharp edge before it becomes a question. Bernard doesn't fit the smile quota. John the Savage arrives from outside the system, carrying Shakespeare, grief, and a hunger the world state calls inconvenient. The system doesn't always roar at him. Sometimes it offers comfort, pills, belonging without friction. And that softness is the weapon. If 1984 fears pain as control, Brave New World fears pleasure without meaning. One breaks your body until you obey. The other makes obedience feel like wellness. Who it's for? Anyone numb from endless comfort, feeds, notifications, and chill culture that never asks you to grow a spine. Pair it with 1984, and you'll never use the word dystopia lazily again. Plot fast? Short summaries on the channel. Number 4. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Nick Carraway arrives in a world of lawns and liquor, where everyone is performing a better self. Across the water, Jay Gatsby throws parties like fireworks for a guest list that barely knows his name. He's aiming everything: mansion, myth, pink suit, at a green light, and a woman who already lives inside a locked class. Daisy's voice sounds like money. Tom's violence wears a polo shirt. The dream looks golden until the car doesn't stop, and the phone stops ringing for the man who built a palace out of wanting. This book isn't merely rich people had drama in the jazz age. It's about the American dream as a beautiful lie, and how longing can turn a man into a spectacle, while the people born inside the club never have to become anything. They already are. Who it's for? Readers obsessed with status, reinvention, social climbing, or that late-night feeling that one more win will finally make you real. The mirror. You cannot buy a past. And the green light moves when you move some. That's the trick. Number 5. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Scout Finch grows up in a southern town that performs politeness like church clothes. Her father, Atticus Finch, is appointed to defend Tom Robinson, a black man the town has already convicted in its bones. Through Scout's eyes, we get childhood summers, Boo Radley's legend, schoolyard cruelty, and then a courtroom where truth is visible and still loses the vote that matters. The book endures because it refuses the easy superhero fantasy. Atticus is principled, and principle has a net cost. You pay it in invitations, in whispers, in belonging. Doing right doesn't guarantee the town applauds. Sometimes it guarantees the town shows you who it always was. Who it's for? First-time classic readers, classrooms, parents handing a first serious novel, anyone who wants moral courage without cape cosplay. The mirror. Empathy is a discipline, not a mood, and mockingbirds, the harmless singers, are the ones systems shoot when fear needs a target. Halfway, 5 books in, 5 still ahead, including the one that invented modern guilt before modern technology earned it. If this map is useful, subscribe. I post short, clear book summaries built for class nights and curious readers, not aesthetic theater. Comment the classic you think is missing from these 10. I watch that list when I choose the next summary. And if you only came for one title, stay through number 8. That's Macbeth. That's the hallway that doesn't end after just once. Number 6. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Forget the green cartoon bolts for a minute. Victor Frankenstein, brilliant and starving for glory, stitches ambition into flesh. He runs the moment the eyes open. The creature, abandoned at birth by his only father, learns language by watching, learns loneliness by being hunted for his face, and learns revenge the way any mind learns when every door says monster before it says person. Victor calls him wretch. The world agrees without a trial. And the murders that follow aren't random horror spice. They are a bill. Creation opens an account. Somebody pays. This is the template for modern guilt. We invent systems, machines, platforms, selves, then act shocked when what we made demands care, limits, or a name. Who it's for? STEM kids who think literature is soft, founders and builders, anyone mid-project who hasn't asked, what does this owe the world if it works? The mirror, creation without care, is a kind of violence. Running away is still a choice with victims. Number 7. The Odyssey, Homer. The war is over. Odysseus wants one simple thing: home. The sea disagrees. Gods disagree. His own pride disagrees. Cyclops, witches, the dead, sirens, obstacles, yes, but the deeper fight is time. Years scrub the man Ithaca is waiting for. Penelope holds the kingdom together by unweaving a shroud every night so desire can't claim her on someone else's schedule. Telemachus grows up in a house full of men who eat his future. Read it as monster adventure if you want. It still works. It lasts because it's about identity under delay, who you are when the journey eats the years you planned, and whether home still knows your face when you finally arrive, gore-stained and clever and changed. Who it's for? Readers who like epic scope. Anyone rebuilding a life after war, migration, illness, burnout, or a long detour that rewrote the schedule. The mirror. Home is a test, not a pin on a map. And cunning without wisdom is just delay with better branding. Iliad Summary lives on the channel if you want the war before the voyage. Number 8. Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Here's the trapdoor. 3 witches plant a prophecy. Macbeth's wife has steel where his hesitation lives. One murder is supposed to finish ambition. Crown on, doubt off. Instead, it opens a hallway. Banquo, sleep, time. Every safety killing makes the next one feel necessary. Courage becomes theater. The night stops working as rest. Lady Macbeth's hands won't come clean in a world where water is only water. Macbeth is not evil from line 1 like a cartoon villain. He is permeable. That's the horror. He lets a story about his greatness in from the outside, then rearranges his soul to match it. Who it's for? Students drowning in Shakespeare anxiety. Anyone who has ever told themselves just this once about a line they swore they wouldn't cross. At work, in love, in politics, in private. The mirror. Ambition eats the user. Prophecy doesn't force the knife. It only rents the idea. You still close your hand. Need the plot spine before the essay? Short summary route on the channel when you need it fast. Number 9. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Guy Montag burns books for a living. In his world, firemen start fires. The culture wants speed, noise, wall-sized screens, and zero-friction feelings. Then Clarice asks simple questions. Are you happy? And the job stops looking like public service. Mildred overdoses on empty. Beatty smiles, with an educated mouth full of quotes he uses as weapons. And the book people wait in the woods, becoming the texts they've memorized because paper became contraband. Bradbury's fear isn't only a government stamp that says banned. It's a public that stops wanting complicated thought. A society that chooses numbness and then calls the fire department when a page might hurt. Who it's for? Anyone doom-scrolling past their own attention span. Teachers, readers stacking dystopias after 1984 and Brave New World, and noticing the third angle. Not pain, not pleasure. Distraction. The mirror. If nobody wants to think, bans become optional. The fire just finishes what apathy started. Number 10. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Rodion Raskolnikov, poor and feverish in St. Petersburg, invents a theory to make himself extraordinary. Some men may step over blood for a higher idea. He tests it on a pawnbroker. The axe is quick. The after is not. He doesn't get a clean villain monologue. He gets heat, suspicion, mazes of justification, and a conscience that operates like physics. Porphyry circles. Sonia holds a different kind of strength, not theory, not superiority, presence. This novel is a pressure cooker. Ideology meets a body that has to live inside the crime. Who it's for? Readers who like psychological intensity. Philosophy kids flirting with "the ends justify me." Anyone who wants crime fiction that cares more about the soul's weather than the detective's gadgets. The mirror. You are not above the body you harm. Guilt has gravity. You don't out-argue it forever. You drown or you change. That's 10, not a sacred ranking carved in marble, a starter spine. Lord of the Flies, 1984, Brave New World, Gatsby, Mockingbird, Frankenstein, The Odyssey, Macbeth, Fahrenheit 451, Crime and Punishment. If you read even 3 with your brain switched on, your sense of power, shame, freedom, ambition, and belonging gets sharper. That's the point of classics. They don't expire. We do. How to start this week. 1. Pick the book whose thesis card stung. 2. Read one sitting you can actually finish, not a fantasy marathon. 3. When you get lost, use the short summary on this channel as a map, not a replacement. Then go back to the page. Subscribe for 60-second summaries of these titles and the next ones on the list you demand in the comments. Comment which of the 10 hit hardest, or which famous classic I was wrong to skip. I build from that. If you're here the night before class, pick one, watch the short, then read the hard chapter yourself. The shelf is yours. Start heavy.